My name is Peter Williamson, and I am the Employer Outreach Coordinator here at SLOCOG, San Luis Obispo Council of Governments, and my program is branded the Back and Forth Club. So, as with most of you, my mission is to maximize the efficiency of our region's roadways. And like many commuter programs across the country, we have 4 levels of participation for employers. This is similar to like lab. And to get involved, every employer goes through a turnkey process, which is coordinated by Rideshare. Among other things, this includes establishing a lead supercommuter or a employee transportation coordinator, doing a program inventory of all the resources that the employer currently offers, and creating a trip reduction plan. Employers commit the time, I coordinate all the steps and the resources, and then employers that invest more time and money can advance up to gold, and then platinum we kind of set up so that employers have to be effective with the use of their tools and services. So that's just a little background on my program as we move into what this is about, which is the downtown small business concept. Traditional levels model is great for employers with 30-plus employees or so. I wanted to come up with a way to engage small business. And my concept was to take a cluster of the small businesses, kind of like an outlet center, perhaps like a mall, and combine them into one umbrella Back and Forth Club commuter program. And with limited and paid parking and minimum wage employees, the downtown San Luis Obispo seemed like the perfect audience to pilot this TDM concept. Plus, small businesses are traditionally more willing to support the local community, which is a great start. Another advantage available in downtown SLO is the pre-existing boundaries established by the Downtown Association and the city's Downtown Access Pass, which is like an area that you can get free SLO transit for downtown employees. So on to partners. After selecting my target, I began outreach to all the relevant parties. The obvious choices: SLO Transit, the city, our Chamber of Commerce, and the Downtown Association. SLO Transit was great because we already had the pre-existing audience to engage, those using the Downtown Access Pass, so we're trying to plug them into our system. And the city and Downtown Association provided some time for outreach efforts, which was extremely helpful. Also still working with the city to try to find a way for them to financially sponsor this program with a trial paid incentive for participants, so downtown employees could earn money for biking, walking, carpooling, etc. The Chamber, as a partner, was willing to listen. They really only provided paid advertising opportunities, which we did use, but they weren't extremely helpful with the outreach process, and I'm not sure if that applies to all chambers, so keep that in mind as you reach out. If you decided to launch a similar program, also recommending other partners, I would say that like healthier restaurants and local bike shops seem to be our biggest supporters, so targeting those companies first is a good idea. So my concept was fairly simple. Get a flyer with commute options into the hand of every downtown employee. Picture a flyer in your break room. Heck, I have it right here if you're looking at the webcam. There it is. So this would be on your break room table, Spanish too. And people can check out their commute options. So it's a pretty simple concept. And then also prepared a custom version of our new hire packet for employers that were willing to take kind of the next steps. So those that bought in a little bit more, this is what our new hire packet looks like. You can see, hopefully, downtown SLO, other sides are in Spanish, more about our iRideshare software, etc. So that's a bigger resource that they could dive into. So those are good to have in place before you start doing the cold outreach. I am a believer in a high-touch approach for TDM. So the Downtown Association ambassador, a city employee, and I began cold outreach to pre-selected sections of downtown. So you can see that kind of breakdown there. In the future, I think I probably want to take the Main Street. The city didn't quite make it as far as I'd hoped. For the stage, bringing the materials, a lot of your business cards is a big deal. Collected the business cards of like the front office person or a manager at all of the different places we went to, so that you could obviously follow up with our outreach. And As many of you may know, your downtown area probably also sees a lot of employee turnover. It's our college kids. Sometimes there's offices and stuff too, but a lot of it turns over. So that's why I decided to link this umbrella program with our two biggest campaigns, Rideshare Week and Bike Month. And so I definitely recommend that. It's because it's a lot of work, so you kind of have to tie it in that semi-annual. You're going to get out there and start talking to a lot of people and getting after it. So iRideshare.org is our Unity URL, like SmartRide is Santa Barbara's, and that's kind of the backbone of the commuter program. So naturally I set up the Downtown Back and Forth Club as like a parent network, for those of you familiar, and then set up each of the small businesses as sub-networks. Leveraging Bike Month and Rideshare Week, we can push downtown commuters towards the small business challenges that we do, incentives specific to the downtown, and more. So we'll probably keep pushing on that and leveraging that. We also have a separate sub-network for the Downtown Access Pass users. So they're usually in two sub-networks, sorry. And so participants in the city program are now pushed to register at, when you go to get your downtown, your free transit, basically they'll push you to get into iRideshare.org/S/DAP for the Downtown Access Pass. So that's great. We're capturing a lot of data off of that. We probably had 50 users out of Rideshare Week, and obviously hoping to bump that substantially for Bike Month because it's our most popular campaign. So that leads me into what comes next for this. And so we do have round 2 coming up in May, Bike Month 2017. Pretty positive that the Bike Month Challenge and then also the new app launch from Ride Amigos is going to be awesome to do the challenges. They'll be big contributing factors for kind of pushing those employees towards iRideshare a little bit more. The first step was just, here's your commute options. The next step is, hopefully we'll capture some of that data and then continue to push to get more people into that program with their small business. So cold outreach, I think I want to focus more on the core since several of the businesses were left out of the Rideshare Week outreach. I'll be applying extra focus on the larger employers in downtown because I think the larger ones, buy-ins, for example, Lunar Red owns a couple of restaurants. If we get one of those bigger guys involved, the smaller ones will probably follow. We already have a downtown Bike to Work Day event planned, which is pretty awesome. Our Rideshare Week event was at a local restaurant, and it had a pretty small turnout. It was cool. I got to talk to the employees there. Like I said, I believe in a high-touch approach, so I got to have some good conversations with the employees of that restaurant. We probably had like 5 other people show up, so pretty small. But I think with Bike to Work Day in downtown, we already have 200-something people, so if we can tie into that excitement, we're going to get a lot more interest and participation from downtown. So I'll probably report back on LinkedIn, a LinkedIn thread, and a coffee talk in the future if you're interested in the progress of how this goes. So thanks to Ride Amigos for allowing me to present. Happy to answer any questions.
Sure, we do have a couple of questions. First one is from Sophie. Lupin, how have employers addressed the issue of computer access and implementing commute programs? Any success stories you found? ?
Yeah, I mean, that is one of the bigger challenges. It's something that I posted on a LinkedIn thread recently about the kiosks. It's the challenge, same with like our Costco being one of our program participants. It's hard to push people towards iRideshare. I think the app's going to address a lot of that, and hopefully as it gets developed, it's going to be a bigger deal. For right now, you just have the fact that it's mobile friendly, so those individuals can log that way, and when I'm on site, I'll have tablets and stuff for them to play around in and look for carpool matches, that sort of thing. But yeah, that's very difficult, and that's a question I think we're all trying to address.
What about from Fernando Galliano? How does a business who has already been going green show previous work that has been performed?
I think that was for the last presentation, possibly, but yeah, this does tie in. We don't have that in our county. I think that would be a great time for a small business concept like Kent was talking about. I was like, oh man, we need that here badly.
Yeah, and there's another question here. Any advice for people in your position on, 1 or 2 things that you found in the last year or so that worked over all other strategies?
It's not the answer you're looking for probably, but it's definitely that. Like I said, a high touch. It's getting there and talking about people with their individual commutes, being willing to do whatever it takes to get individuals to make smart commute choices. We actually started piloting something else that I call a site visit, kind of inspired by your area's Car Free Fridays. So I'll go on to an employer site and just go around to different offices and talk to people about their commutes. I think that's a very successful model because you get to hear the challenges and you get to address them with things that they've never thought about. You give them a free transit pass to give that a go and then follow up with them. So it's a lot of feet on the ground kind of work that I've found.
Cool. Yeah, another question from Jenny O'Brien. What is the LinkedIn group you mentioned?
Ride Amigos has a LinkedIn group, so I'm sure they'll send you a link to that, but that's probably where I'll do a follow-up.
Yeah, we could share that. You also mentioned Coffee Talks. For those who don't know, Coffee Talks is a monthly webinar from one of our partners or clients that presents on something they're doing with the Ride Amigos platform or their program that others can benefit from. And Peter's super involved, and he actually created Coffee Talk X, which is in addition to our real client base and partner group, it's Peter's client base. So do you want to explain what Coffee Talk X is? Kind of your brainchild.
Yeah, sure. We're actually partnering tomorrow with SBCAG and doing a Coffee X talk with all of our employers in the Santa Barbara and San Luis Obispo areas. I think we're going to be introducing our Bike Month Challenge concept and getting some feedback on some ideas that we have, see what they think. And basically, it's just an opportunity. I use it as an opportunity to reach all of our ETCs, lead supercommuters, and with whatever the latest message is. So I try to tie it into the platform, but essentially it's here's an update, and then it's cool because there's a database of all our different Coffee X talks. So if somebody's asking about new challenges or incentives, I can always lead them back to one of those videos, which is cool.